or try to do in real time, which might not work, who the fuck knows, is this nonsense that was brought to my doorstep around everyone's favorite person who people believe I unironically support is Umar Johnson. I usually spend most of our streams and our time together laughing at Umar Johnson because Umar Johnson memes are funny as fuck. And you are never going to indoctrinate me out otherwise because you cannot tell me with a straight face that this isn't funny as fuck.
That he's the funniest guy on the internet, right?
To me, because he's not trying. And I love the fact that he's become the boogeyman of biracial relationships.
Yo,
if you pop up with a biracial relationship, Dr. Umar is watching you.
That's the only thing I disagree with that he says. You should be able to love whoever you love.
What's wrong with saying that? Black men should be with black women. Asians like to keep it in their community, right?
That's not true. Jewish men have been dating Asians for centuries.
I bet you. Well, I never heard what Christians said.
Asian.
According to my kids, in New York City at least, it's Blasian, which is black and Asian, or Wasian, which is white and Asian.
Just to be clear, this shit sucks. Like, this shit sucks. And I wanna, like, there's just some things that I wanna, like, just sit and laugh at. Just to sit and laugh at because it's fucking hilariously stupid. And like, but there's just so much to unpack. There's just so much to unpack because on one hand, it's like, yeah, like for instance, like I was just talking about covering serious people. And like Umar Johnson isn't serious. He's not a serious individual. And his politics are unserious. But it's just funny. It's just funny. But then people punt the ball. They just like, they punt the ball on like, okay, he's unserious. And all right, Spinner, I'll talk to you soon. He's unserious. And then like, instead of just saying like, he's unserious, this is stupid, let's move on. They just go to like turbo racism and they just punt the ball right back to him. It's like, come on, guys.
You heard what Dr. Umar has said about the half white, half Asian.
No.
He calls them snow dragons. And, and
that's gonna stick. Yo, I'm telling y'all right now.
That's what I'm talking about. No, it's not gonna stick. Don't let it stick. You can laugh, that's stupid, but don't like, oh god.
No dragons is no dragons.
I love Dr.
Yeah. Anyway.
Umar Johnson. It started off as a joke, and now I admire.
How can you not love Dr. Umar?
Yeah, no. You don't love. You can't love Dr. Umar Johnson because he's unserious. But there are people who like believe that him to be serious and believe that his politics are like, it's just rough, man. Anyway, so basically what happened was reparations was trending on Twitter for a little bit this morning. And for a little bit, it was like a few fucking hours. And as you can see, even like on like my bar. And again, I don't know what it looks like on your side of Twitter, but every once in a while, some cool shit happens on the right side of my screen. What's happening? Spain versus Germany. Antifa and BLM. Tariq Nasheed. Trans women are women. Haitians. What the fuck is going on right now? Like, that's just like this whole amalgamation of stupid shit. And I was able to pin down the source. And the source appears to be, and again, I'm saying appears to be a conversation that Umar Johnson had. I don't even know when he had it because he has different degrees of haircut. And I've been able to like find where the conversation comes with a haircut. But Tariq Nasheed is tagged in it. Umar Johnson's tagged in it. And then it gets disseminated to the masses. So I did not watch this yet. I want to make this very like clear and transparent. I've not watched this at all. So we're going to look at it in real time together. Like a big, happy family.
But don't you think that if we got reparations, that would have helped?
Let me ask you a question. The question on the table. If we get reparations, will that help us? If somebody is mentally ill in a mental asylum,
Great start.
mental hospital. You give him $1 million.
Gone.
Does it reverse the illness?
No, I don't.
Does it do anything to treat his problem?
No.
So let's take that to a community. If a community has no institutions, no way to trap the money in their community, they own none of the institutions, and you drop a couple $1 trillion in that community.
It's over.
How is that money going to benefit the people when all the institutions in the community that are going to take their money are not owned by people who look like them? I'm going to ask it another way. If we don't responsibly spend the money we already have,
How can we spend more?
what makes you think giving you more is going to change your situation? Now, let me say this. I want to be clear. I support reparations.
Okay.
For sure.
I support it. The reparations movement was born from the Pan-Africanist movement. I support reparations. What I don't support is thirsty, opportunistic Negroes who are pushing for reparations externally before we have delivered reparations internally to ourselves. In other words, most of the saving that has to be done for black people must be done by black people, and no amount of money going to fix that.
Right.
No amount of money is going to stop the black woman from not trusting the black man.
Right.
No amount of money is going to make the black man love his woman. No amount of money is going to stop black women from frying their hair. No amount of money is going to stop black men from dating outside the race.
Right.
When you look at our deepest rooted problems, no money can fix them.
You got to start at the root, right?
You got to start at the root. And then once you replant your tree, now you get that reparations to decorate your branches.
Yeah.
Man, but
You want to decorate your branches before you re-solidified your roots. It's not going to work, brother.
But Dr. Umar, we 400 years behind. Imagine all that time.
The
that
money
we-
ain't going to help you catch up. And guess what? You have enough right now. $2 trillion is more than enough right now
What?
to put yourself where you need to be. The reparations.
Okay, so that was just profoundly stupid. Oh Lord, where do we start? Where do we start? I guess we gotta do a play-by-play, huh? I guess we gotta. What's up? What's up, Cap? I guess we gotta do a play-by-play. Bip bop bop boop doo 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 doo. The fucking drums in that. But even then, I just hear it. Anyway. There's a lot of tangents that I just don't get. Yeah, I guess we're doing a play-by-play. Let's go again.
But don't you think that if we got reparations, that would have helped?
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
The question on the table.
Okay.
If we get reparations, will that help us?
Yes. I solved it. I answered the question. Big brain over here.
If somebody is mentally ill,
What?
in a mental asylum,
If somebody's mentally ill in a mental asylum, okay.
mental hospital,
Mental hospital. Okay, which one? But, we move past that.
you give him $1 million.
Give him $1 million.
Does it reverse the illness?
No, I don't.
Does it do anything to treat his problem?
No.
So let's take.
Like, what are you talking about? All right, so if I had to be the most charitable individual possible, he's saying that, look, if I just give you a lump sum of money, is that going to fix your current conditions? And my counter to that is their business and their business alone. Like, if you give someone $1 million, what they do with the money is none of your black-owned business. None of your fucking business. So, like, if within your advocacy towards reparations and something within your political advocacy includes giving black people direct payments, once you start questioning what they could possibly do with the money, for me, you're just unserious, because we recognize, or at least I think we recognize that, like, when you give individuals money, it's up to them to decide what they want to do with it. But conflating this idea of mental illness is really fucking weird. Like, it's just it's a lazy, and she's a psychologist, so it's a lazy analogy. But like,
that to a community. If a community has no institutions, no way to trap the money in their community, they own none of the institutions, and you drop a couple $1 trillion in that community.
It's over.
How is that money going to benefit the people when all the institutions in the community that are going to take their money are not owned by people who look like them?
all right, so it doesn't matter about people who look like them. Like, I hate this idea that like if you have black people in institutions, then those black people are going to like help black people. We know that's bullshit. We can look to Georgia, we can look to South Carolina, we can look to pretty much every black politician in the South. We can look at Cory Booker, Barack Obama, Kamala Harris. The identity of the individual is irrelevant. What matters is do the politicians or individuals that are within these institutions, at least for me, like this is just kind of how I feel, like do these people have the interests of certain groups in mind within their politic? And time again, we have seen, regardless of the race, that politicians don't care about the plight of black people in America. And then instead what they do, Republicans just ignore and think that and say that identity doesn't matter. But then Democrats also say identity doesn't matter unless we say that it matters. Otherwise, shut the fuck up about it. So so like what I care about is, do the people who are in power and who you're like looking to like hold political power have your interests in mind? And if they don't have your interests in mind, don't vote for them. Don't vote for them. They're not, it's like, don't vote for them if they don't have your and Republicans know this. Like, if they don't have your, well, sort of, they kind of do, kind of don't. If they don't have your political interest in mind, why that, like, what value is there to vote for them? With that being said, again, it's up to the community to decide what to do with the money. But at the exact same time, if black people decide through an electoral process that the forefront of the strategy and the forefront for reparations is direct payments, that's them. That is a claim that it's a form of restitution that black people wanted, and they did it through a democratic process, and they determined that that is of value as they were building a plan towards reparations. And the fact that but again, like, black people aren't fucking stupid. Like, you're not going to have, through a democratic process, black people coming together on reparations and thinking that cash payments is the only way forward. Like, no one is going to believe that exclusively cash payments towards black people is a way to reparations. It's a part, absolutely. But again, it's up to black people to determine what to do with those funds that they receive. It's up to them. And it's up to them through a democratic process. And the democratic process, and I talked about this before, would require first finding the black people that you're looking to target for this group. That targeted group then builds an electorate, and that newly formed electorate then creates a board, votes on a board of electors, and this new board of electors determines what to be done with the money given to them through a plan of reparations. So if they're given $15 trillion, the board of electors determines what to do with that $15 trillion. That's going to include probably institutional improvement. Is probably going to include local investments. It's probably going to include cash payments. It could be a myriad of things, but it's up to that group to decide what they care about within that electorate. Anyway, more pain.
I'm going to ask it another way.
Okay.
If we don't responsibly spend the money we already have,
How can we spend more?
what makes you think giving you more is going to?
Okay, so let's not fool ourselves. Black people are poor. So if we know black people are poor, then what are we doing here? If we don't know how to responsibly spend the money, we already don't. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, my friend? What are you talking about?
Change your situation. Now, let me say this. I want to be clear. I support reparations.
Okay.
For sure.
I support it.
But you want to make sure that these fucking darkies do with the money that you deem fit and appropriate. Which, again, totally fine. But you get to determine that as we bring forth candidates to figure out what we do with the money.
Reparations movement was born from the Pan-Africanist movement. I support reparations. What I don't support is thirsty, opportunistic Negroes who are pushing for reparations externally before we have delivered reparations internally to our.
And that's not your problem, but whatever. Like, it's just talking to ghosts, arguing with ghosts, shadow boxing
ourselves. In other words,
it makes sense only in the case identity politics has become a nasty term like socialism due to effective message. Yeah, that's a way of looking at it for sure.
of the saving that has to be done for black people must be done by black people, and no amount of money going to fix that.
Right.
No, like, oh my God, fucking Umar Johnson sucks. Man, this man sucks. Like, you need individuals within your communities and within your institutions that you have direct proximity to that recognize your problems and make it a priority to make sure your problems are fixed. I'll give like a teacher's example. One of the things that I believe keeps students in strong relationships with their teachers is teachers that recognize their problems. And if a teacher can recognize the problem, not only recognize it, but say, hey, my job is to make sure your problems are alleviated, then you have that student forever. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, whoa, what's going on my phone right now? It's like you want educators who see their students not only as people, not only as people, but as like whole individuals that have whole lives outside of the educational environment. But those things outside of the educational environment can manifest inside of the educational environment. So when you have problems, it's understanding like, hey, I see your problems. I'm oversimplifying this for the sake of time, but like, I see your problems. I understand your problems. I'm going to make it my duty to make sure your problems are alleviated. And I think the same can be held true with like politicians around you and institutions around you. And then it's up to you as the individual. And because then this is like the onus of the individual for this part of my argument, or what I kind of want to like briefly talk about, is like, it's your job to hold them to account. And if they don't do those things that you expected them to do based on their identification of your problems, based on them establishing that like my goals are to make sure that your problems are alleviated, if they don't do that, then you got to hold them accountable. You got to hold them accountable. Because we do, especially in politics, have an accountability problem. Instead of holding Democrats to account when they lie to their electorates, we just say, hey, keep voting for them. Because Republican bad. Like, that's the progressive centrism. Hey, I know that these Democrats made particular promises, and I know those particular promises really fucked with your conditions. But just can you like keep voting for them because the Republican bad? And that's not a serious thing. And I'm oversimplifying the situation, but damn, this man sucks.
Right.
No amount of money is going to stop the black woman from not trusting the black man.
And then he just riffs on some bullshit. This is all bullshit.
No amount of money is going to make the black man love his woman. No amount of money is going to stop black women from frying their hair. No amount of money is going to stop black men from dating outside the race.
Right.
When you look at our deepest rooted problems,
The idea that he like conflates all those deeply rooted problems is really fucking weird. Like, it's so fucking weird. But again, that's the axiom of the grind.
no money can fix them.
You got to start at the root, right?
You got to
No money can fix these fucking snow bunnies. Like, listen, white women bad. I don't know what to fucking tell you, man.
start at the root. And then once you replant your tree, now you get that reparations to
Yeah, once you bootstrap yourself and figure it out, then we can give you. This is man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
All right, that's cool.
decorate your branches.
Yeah.
Man, but
You
don't-
want to decorate your branches before you re-solidified your roots. It's not going to work, brother.
But Dr. Umar, we 400 years behind. Imagine all that time.
The
that
money
we-
ain't going to help you catch up. And guess what? You have enough right now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
$2 trillion is more than enough right now to put yourself where you need to be. The reparations.
Okay, and then this goes on. I'd love to find out where the rest of this is. It really sucks. But I'd love to know where the rest of this is so I can continue to like talk shit about it. But yeah, I don't know, man.